So imagine a business person and every night you have to call your wicked before asking them one question. How much do you make for the day? So this was an issue I had with working as a barber in my uncle's shop. So he ran the shop for years and he still cannot tell how much was made. So I'm Donald Edina when I cut hair in my uncle's shop and I also school as well and those softwares. So the issue was the nightly calls and he mostly writes his sales in a logbook. So this in this kind of books and he might forget what how much he wrote in that book. So he wasn't unusual, he's the market. So this means that even though the business runs on cash and memory, they are still profitable. They are not invisible. So there was no record, no decisions. It was really the chair which was the decisions. So there was no proper documentation of revenue and no means of credit calculations and no proper growth calculations as well. So this made me rethink and build a software. So it's a management software for African businesses. The first one is a PowerShop management system where you can log the sales at the end of the day. And the second one is a laundry management system which has the same engine as the first product, but that one is for laundry. And the third one is a discovery service for clients. So we aren't building for the European markets, we are building for what exists and the problem we are facing currently. So most businesses run on cheap smartphones and most of these businesses are also on WhatsApp. So we consider WhatsApp as our first approach and internet is also very patchy and unrealistic. And most of the sales and monies are received in cash. So why me? So I learned to code while barring. I was cutting hair in my info show and also doing software engineering at the same time. So the shop was the first user of the products and every feature was tested in the shop and every studies was was a milestone achieved. So at the end of it all, we were able to make 40% of lead converts. So let's say when we reach out to users, we were able to acquire 40% of them. And our monthly burns on getting these users was $30 and our and lifetime acquisition value to customer acquisition cost ratio was 2.6, which is already audited in another course. So we have two products in production where users are using them. So what we are asking for is $50,000 and we are targeting 500 paying shops in 12 months. So 40% of it is going to engineering, and 25% is going to field works to onboard more users. 15% is for infrastructure and hosting. 10% is for products and content, and we reserve 10% for unbudgeted risks for any issue that occurs later. So what might be the question now? Will these shop owners really pay? Yes, they do. Since we have gotten 40% of them at full price, no one asks for a reduction or a compensation or a price reduction from the rich outs. Eh, And how is this different from other POS system? So the POS system was built on assumptions, but our own is from a problem that we saw and we are trying to tackle. So this brings the end to my presentation. Thank you.